Greetings, this is September 9th at 9 p.m. We are looking at Drive BC's Savona Cam westwards towards a sunset. Now we are looking at the Sheridan Cam on Highway 24. We are looking westwards towards Lone Butte 93 mile, and there is moisture on the grass, on the pavement, and likewise at the Big Bar Cam looking north, and I see some dense clouds. And that calls for a quick check of the lightning meter on lightningmaps.org, and the link is below. I'm only seeing one spot north of Williams Lake, and that dissipated quite quickly. This is a real-time active lightning monitor, and you might want to check that out. We are anticipating some increased cloud activity tomorrow as well. We are looking at NASA's World View, an overview of Western Canada, and a lot of dense cloud cover. However, if we move southwards into Washington, Idaho, Montana, you can still see there's a lot of active fire with smoke moving northeastwards. And if we pull back and look at the United States, another band of smoke. It is crossing the Midwest, and it may be joining in with the smoke that's coming from Montana, and that may be heading up north into Saskatchewan, Manitoba. So this gives you an indication of how far the smoke is carried on the atmosphere and the effect that it has in a wide range of territory. Now we're zooming out and we're looking at all the infrared currently being displayed on this system, and if you look at South America, Brazil, Southern Africa, and on Australia, there is a lot of infrared being displayed in that hemisphere at this point in time. I can't really speculate on what the causes of these infrared are. I suspect there is some agricultural use where they're clearing land, and they are rolling into spring, I believe, in Australia, so they may be heading into their fire season. Let's zoom in now to the Thompson-Nicola region, and we're looking at the Elephant Hill wildfire on the NRC M3 active infrared, and there is a link below. And you'll notice that there's no infrared being displayed on this system at this point in time. So let's jump over to the VIIRS on the Lance NASA link below. And here we can see much the same activity that we saw in yesterday's update, however, fewer hotspots. We are zooming into the area east of the Rayfield, east of Pressy Lake, and here we can see those concentrations on this fire guard system that apparently is in this area being constructed to create a line or a swath of protected area for this forested block. This will extend up to Sheridan, over to Jack Frost Lake, and then over to Green Lake. So we'll have to check the bulletins, check the alerts, and see if BC Wildfire is going to put an indication on their maps of where this large, apparently 500-meter wide fire guard black line will end up being. We're moving northwestwards towards the area south of Green Lake, south of Jack Frost Lake, and we can see the same patterning south of Jack Frost Lake. This is appears to be some controlled infrared signatures that may indicate control strategy in that area. And just to remind you, these infrared hotspots can be 500 meters off their intended position. I've seen them as far as a kilometer. So with the weather, the cooling temperatures, I suspect a lot of smoldering, maybe occasional flare-ups, but more control strategies to reduce fuel. We're going to jump over to Windy now, and this is a picture from earlier in the afternoon. We were seeing 17 kilometers an hour, 16 kilometers an hour coming from the southwest as the wind was moving on this arc from the south and then over to the northeast, and most of those higher speeds were on the plateau south of Green Lake moving towards Bridge Lake, and accompanying that were some increased precipitation. Looking at the forecast for this area, the wind should be slowing down slightly overnight. It may pick up again tomorrow afternoon and stay pretty much consistently from the south. There could be some variation, as you see, depending on where you are in the valleys on the ridge lines or on the plateaus. And the precipitation could continue for about the next 24 hours. It may dry out a little bit and then return again on Monday. So we're looking right now about 12 kilometers an hour coming from the south-southwest, and this is going to vary depending on where you are. You can see over towards Williams Lake, it's quite calm, but then if you move to the Marble Range and points west, it's quite windy, 20 kilometers an hour. So there will be localized areas that are getting more rain than others, some regions that are getting these wind gusts. And fortunately, we're getting the precipitation without a lot of lightning. Please do check BC Wildfire's interactive map, because if there is a lightning strike and it does turn into a wildfire, they're going to have it put on there. And I've been playing with this map. It's by blitzertung.org. It's an open source. It's a community project. And they have relay stations throughout North America, and they triangulate where a lightning strike is. So a relay station in British Columbia, one in Ontario, and another one in Georgia triangulate to confirm a lightning strike in a specific zone. And it's quite responsive. You can set it up to be virtually in real time, so you're actually watching the lightning happen. And I zoomed in and took a look at the area around Hurricane Irma yesterday, and if you'll see this ring in the center, that's the lightning that's occurring around the hurricane. I was pretty impressed with what they're offering on here, so I actually went to Google Play and downloaded the app, and I prefer the web version a little bit more. It seems to be showing more detail, especially with these vector lines that are showing which relay station is picking up the lightning. The app is good. You can change the size of the dots and change the range of time which it's picking up lightning. I also went to Windy and noticed they've added a new weather radar feature, and it's tracking the radar of Hurricane Irma as it proceeds now towards the southwest coast of Florida. And we are looking at an image from earlier in the day. This is traffic heading north, getting out. We're watching the FL 511 highway traffic cam system, very similar to Drive BC. Here we're looking south on US 1 towards the Florida Keys, and this cam eventually went offline, and I believe there's only 1 or 2 highway cams still functioning along US 1 on the Florida Keys. Moving back to our neck of the woods, this is the Begbie cam on Highway 97 looking north towards 93 Mile and 100 Mile House, and we can see a reflection on the road. And that's why I use these cams, because they're confirmation of the data that we're seeing on infrared from satellite, and when we can't see under the cloud cover, this is another source of information. So thank you very much for watching. This is a really quick update to show you there's no change in the infrared, no apparent expansion, and our wildfire crews are working on the fire lines to protect and improve fire guard, and they seem to be making very good progress right now. I had felt Saturday may be a turning point. I still do. We're going to check back, and I also am preparing a video on some of the things I've learned about the forest, let's say. Thank you very much for watching. Be safe, and I'll talk to you soon.